Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to check fresh release from Eduard. It's a 1/72 scale kit and it's a limited edition dual combo, and it is interesting because here we get a new Eduard plastic in 1/72 scale which copies BF109 F2 and F4, and as you can see the name of the kit is Wunderschone Neue Machinen, and it's part 1, mind this small thing here, so I guess there will be part 2 obviously, and the kit number is written here on the side 2142, and we have a commercial sample here, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review. This is the final shape and nothing will change if you would like to order it from official Eduard website. So first of all, I have to note that the box art here is quite nice. We have special treatment which is typical for limited editions, and here you can see comparison with my hand. Box is not that big. I would say the size of the box is typical for a 1/48 scale Profi pack or some limited edition from Eduard, but here we get two 1/72 scale kits, just like it is depicted on the box art. So here on the side you will find some of the marking options which are included into the new release, and I think we will have more inside because here it's written that we have 14 marking options, and also you can see that we have die cut masks and of course pre-painted P parts and the plastic itself as well. So it's a top opening box, and by the way here on the side we have also the price tag with the barcode. It's 45 euros, and just to open this box I will have to take it off the table because it's a surprisingly tight fitment. Usually Eduard boxes are easy and quick to open, but not in this case. So here is what we have inside. As you can see, there are plastic sprues which are packed into separate plastic bags. I can guess that we have absolutely identical plastic parts, and we have the necessary parts on both sets, and we will check it together in a few seconds, so just give me a second. First of all, I will open the clear plastic frame. So here we have the clear parts, and those clear frames are similar for both models, and that's why I will show you only one. So here, as you can see, we have the separate canopy parts in 1/72 scale. It will come handy because it will help you to open the canopy, and as you remember we have the masks included, so you shouldn't be worried about any possible issues with the proper paint finish on those elements. Next we continue with another plastic bag. So here we have gray plastic sprues, and I will open it right now. It's a resealable plastic bag, so it should be easy and quick to open. And here we have sprues K and L, so I guess the part set will be slightly different because, for example, here we have the wing parts, fuselage parts, also some of the elements for the main wheel wells, for the air intakes and landing gear wheels. And if we zoom in here, you can see the wing parts closer. So external features look pretty decent for this scale. As you can see, we have recessed panel lines and rivets, and also we have ailerons and flaps separate, which is a quite nice thing to be included. And here you can also see the fuselage parts. So the tail fin is separate, but unfortunately the cowling panels are not separate here, and the only thing which will save you is that we have actually the piano hinge here, so it will help you hide the unnecessary seams and gaps in the middle. And if I flip it over, inside we have some pre-molded features for the cockpit, but I guess they will be enhanced with help of PE parts. Here on the wing parts you can see that the wing edges will serve as a guiding element as well, and note that we also have the pitot tube pre-molded, so be careful while handling these parts because it's really easy to break off this thin part and then you'll have to solve it somehow. Next we have another plastic sprue, which is, as you remember, sprue L. And here maybe I will zoom out so that you can understand what I'm talking about. Here we have completely different layout. As you can see, two types of the lower wing panel. Here we have the top wing panels. Fuselage halves look absolutely the same, and also here we get two types of the main wheel wells. And now if we zoom in, so here you can see those lower wing panels. they are, I would say, made at the same level of quality as what we saw just a few seconds ago. But as you can see, we have the parts for the different version of the aircraft. The same goes for the fuselage halves. And if you flip over this fuselage halves, here you can check that we also have some pre-molded minor features. And here are the wing parts. By the way, inside we have the guiding elements in both cases. So you shouldn't be worried about any possible fitment issues. It should be relatively easy to combine them together. And maybe just to do a quick check of what is actually different here. So I'm trying to find the difference right now because I'm not such a huge specialist for the BF109, but here we can see that we have these small openings or chutes for the bullet cases. So I guess that's the main difference. And also for the fuselage halves, I can see that they are more or less the same. But feel free to write what is actually the difference between those two types. I will be happy to learn. Next, we continue with another set of sprues. Here you can see it. And again, we are going to open this plastic bag. I can see that we have actually the separate envelope or plastic bag with the another type of the propeller. I will show it in a second. So these sprues are actually the same, absolutely identical. It's a sprue U, and I will show you only one because they carry the same set of parts. There is no use in showing them twice. So here you can see we get the mix of various elements. It includes the cockpit parts, the main wheel wells, the tail wheel, and also landing gear legs, external equipment, even the tail wing with elevators here. And I think we can zoom in so that you can see this cockpit base. And one-piece cockpit base, of course, is a quite nice design solution because it will help you to get the right alignment between the rear wall and the floor panel. Here we also have some of the propellers, main landing gear legs, and I can see that we have the special angular tabs which will help you to get the right alignment, because as you remember, BF109 has quite unusual legs alignment. Here we continue with the pylons, also some parts for the propeller, for the wing, fuel tanks, and here we continue with exhausts and air intakes as well. So overall, all of these parts, they look quite nice, and I think it will be easy to install them considering the experience with previous Eduard kits in 1/72 scale. I think this one is also employing the recent developments in the molding technologies in the design, and that's why I'm sure that it will be easy to handle. Next, we continue with another thing here. It's a propeller, as I said before. So I will show it in a second. I guess this one will be used for the F4. It's even written here. So let's zoom in. And here you can see what I'm talking about. Here you can read that it's F408 type propeller. And as you can see, it is molded as a single piece part. We have attachment points right in the middle, not on the blades. And this is quite important with such tiny part. Let's not forget that here we have the 1/72 scale kit. That's why it is better to have these attachment points in the middle. Next, we have also minor or small PE fret. I guess these ones will be used on the external surfaces. I will show you only one because they are absolutely the same. And I can see it's written that actually those P frets are errata for the parts. So here you can see them. And I guess there will be instructions on how to use them. Next, on the or below the assembly manual, we have the masks. So these masks are pre-cut, they are ready to be used, and I would say they are typical for Eduard. So if you have some experience with their previous releases, you will be quite familiar with this thing. And of course, it's better to have it because it gives you a bit more precise paint work on your clear parts and even on the landing gear wheels. Next, we continue with the pre-painted P fret, which is dedicated to the various cockpit parts. Here you can see we have instrument panel, seat belts, and other things for both aircraft. So one P fret is actually for two models. And that's not all. We also get the one more unpainted P fret, which also combines all necessary parts for 2 models. Here you can see them. And it's quite interesting that we get not only the external elements, but also some of the cockpit details. So be sure to have the sharp tweezers, because otherwise it will be a nightmare to place those parts into the right spot. Next we continue with decals, and I can see we have 2 decals, actually 3 decal sheets, because we have 1 main and 2 with the stencils. Obviously all 3 are printed in Eduard, and I just need to take them out somehow, so just give me a moment. Okay, so let's start with the big one, because here we have all of the main symbols for both aircraft, and maybe I will have to close the lenses so that you can see what we are talking about. And what we have here is all of the necessary numbers and insignia for 14 marking options, and we also get the cockpit decals, which is quite nice, and we also get the segmentation, so you can just cut off the necessary portion of the symbols and you don't have to go through the whole decal sheet in order just to get the number 3, for example. And note that the swastika is also included, but it should be combined out of separate symbols. We do not get a one-piece symbol here. And next we also have the 2 decal sheets with stencils. I will show you only one because they carry the same set of decals, so there is no use to show you the same thing again and again. And as you can see, those stencils look quite decent for 1/72 scale, and of course it's always great to get it in a small scale aircraft, because a lot of manufacturers actually skip on such feature, and this is not cool in my opinion. Next we continue with the assembly manual, so here I will zoom out a bit. And you can see that assembly manual is printed in form of large brochure. We have also the same image as on the box art on the cover. Next we start with the short history note about this aircraft. And as you can see, we even get the 3D images, which you now will be able to decipher the differences between the aircraft, so it's quite handy in my opinion. Next we have the parts map. Blue color means that those parts will not be used. And assembly process starts with the sequence for F1 and F2 version. Everything starts with the cockpit here, and you have to use the P parts straight away, so be ready for that. And of course it will be important to plan how you will paint all of those parts, because some of them will be really difficult to reach after you assemble the fuselage together. And as you can see, it's already on the second page of the assembly process. Next we continue with the cockpit being installed from the bottom. And then we continue with exhausts, tail wing, and also the rudder. And here we have the wing assembly. So I can see that flaps are actually pre-molded. You won't be able to drop them without the special PE set, I guess. Here we continue with the main wheel wells. And that's actually the errata probably, which will be used, because I don't see any other note, but maybe it will be further in the assembly manual. Next we continue with more parts being installed outside the aircraft. As you can see, even the canopy will get its own portion of the PE parts, which is quite interesting design. But I guess you cannot replicate such surface details with a pre-molded plastic, so that's why Eduard decided to employ the PE parts. By the way, here you can see you can also use the under fuselage bomb with a special attachment, so quite interesting assembly option. And next we start with the F4 assembly option. So here I would like also to remind you that if you would like to install the P parts, you will have to delete or cut off the original plastic, so be ready for that. Also we have a lot of variety in terms of the external parts used. As you can see, their choice will be defined by the marking you choose, so definitely be cautious of this and pay attention to which part you need for your aircraft. And next we continue with wings. What is nice is the front slats are actually separate. In this scale I think it's still important. And next, air intakes, landing gear. I guess for the landing gear you can also find some of the brassing upgrades, so definitely check it out if you would like to have something extra. And here we have the masks application guide, and also as you can see the landing gear wheels, they will get their own masks. Here we start with a marking guide, so that's the first marking option from June 1941. Here we continue with another 2 aircraft from the same time period. Next, we have the aircraft from August 1941 and summer 1941 here. This aircraft has the symbol which kinda at first reminded me about ice, but this is actually the insignia of the flight group. Next, we continue with November 1941, December 1941, as this one already comes in a winter camouflage. And, well, we have this yellow nose aircraft, Grünherz, so quite an interesting choice to replicate in a small scale. Next, we continue with October 1941 and May 1942, again yellow nose aircraft. Here we have May 1942, this is a trop version, so you will have to use the tropical air filter as you remember. Next we have the July 1942, here we have July 1942 again, it's September 1942. This one is quite interesting, that's the first time I see the aircraft with such camouflage, to be honest. But it was operating in Finland as far as you can see. And here we have the final marking option, September 1942 from Egypt. And also we get the separate stenciling guide for aircraft and of course the full list of the brushing accessories which you can use with this kit. As you can see, a lot of stuff can be actually bought for this model, and note that some will be released a bit later, so pay attention to that. And overall, I think it's a really great thing for modelers who wanted to assemble their own BF-109 in small scale, but they were struggling to find something decent, let's say, to assemble. And it should be already available, but let's not forget that this is a limited edition, so if you would like to get one, definitely hurry, because they get sold out really quickly. And I will be happy to hear your opinion about such a release. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. And if you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.